right, welcome, welcome, welcome. Yay! Woo-hoo! How awesome is it to have another Claims of Truth healing circle happening? I absolutely love it. I am so excited. I think I probably say that at every single healing circle, but it is so true, so true, so true. So, casting a circle of light, specifying that only Source, Creator God, my healing team, and the Privy Council be present for tonight's Claims of Truth Healing Circle, where we are going to be taking a look at the claim of truth from the book The Kingdom. And the claim is God sees God in all things. God sees God in all things. Might be one of the easiest claims of truth we have done in a long while. As I said, it comes from The Kingdom by channel work by Paul Selig, and it's going to be awesome, awesome, awesome. So may it be with a blessing, blessing, blessing of Source, that we continue to know ourselves in truth, that we continue to know that love is the basis for all of it, and we continue to trust our higher selves as it all shows up in everything. Blessings, 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 blessings. God sees God in all things. So may it be with a blessing of Source that we just have fun, that we sit in community, remember who we are, trust ourselves, and love, love, love. With that, I say Amen and Aho. So, how are you all doing? How is it going for you? It has been a very busy 2 weeks since we have been together. Let's see, we've had at least one new moon. Last Friday, we had the new moon of lucidity, an opportunity for lots of healings, and it's been a doozy of a few weeks, at least for me. Right? For me, I just keep seeing all the places where, wow, I go into fear, and what in the heck is that? And oh my goodness, now I'm doing another round of fear, moving more fear, and trusting my higher self. So, how are you all doing? I really want to make sure we get lots of healing opportunities in here, right along with doing the claim of truth. It is so fabulous as I'm watching you all get on. I'm like, oh my God, it's Bobby, it's Cindy, it's Heather, it's Elaine. Oh my God, it's so cool. Like, I love that you all have shown up for this. It's awesome. I get so excited about this stuff. So when you have a moment, pop into the chat. Make sure that you change your chat, the little blue box, to say everyone and not just hosts and panelists, so that everybody gets to read what you have to say, unless of course you just want me to read it and then keep it the way it was originally set or change it back. Whew, it is warm, warm, warm already. All right, claim of truth tonight comes from the book The Kingdom. If you all do not know this about the book The Kingdom, Joan and I actually did a podcast on The Kingdom. It took us a little bit more than a year to read the book. We did a podcast. If you send me a message, I'm happy to send you the link for it. But we went through every single chapter or every single day in the book is another episode, and there were a few extra episodes in there. It was so cool. It was such an awesome experience. You want to talk about going into fear and showing up, as who you are. Oh my goodness, it was another level of that. But it's really cool if you're really interested in that kind of stuff. But we are taking the claim of truth that is on page 133. So if you have the book, great. If you don't, that's okay too. The claim of truth is God sees God in all things. And it starts right at the top of the page. Now, if you understand the simple teaching, God sees God in all things. The seeing of God as all things is the gift, and as is the ability to be the receptor of it. So, have you ever anybody read Paul's stuff? And you read his stuff and you go, what? What are they talking about? That is that God sees God in all things. That when we can see God in all things, there is a gift there for each of us. So, might as well start the party off with gifts. That's always really fun. And everybody has a crystalline letter, or you may see a crystalline number, letter A, B, C, D, E, F, G, letter, or a number. And that is your very first gift, a crystalline letter. And I was looking at the letter L earlier, and I was like, what in the world is an L doing there? Why do I keep seeing an L? And I'm like, oh, it is a gift. Now, it can be a gift that is filled with whatever frequencies your higher self tells you. I know that my L is filled with lots of emergence, and that's a blue in the blue spectrum. So I'm going to take that crystalline L and I'm going to put it right back here in my brainstem, because that's what has been making me crazy this week. Brainstem. Oh, look at that. Thank God I finally got a message. Ding, ding. There you go. Now you guys can chat. Were you all like, oh my God, how do we tell her that we can't chat? Dear Lord. All right. Hey. See, it only takes me like 9 minutes to figure that out. What is your crystalline letter? I love it. Much better. I know, right? Somebody was messing with my settings. Cindy's got a B. Joanna has an S. Nope, you're not just supposed to listen, Jill. Always active participation. Elaine, I am happy to help you with that headache. Elaine, that is, there is a bind on there, and we are going to take that bind off just as soon as we work on it. Heather's got an A, rose pink quartz. Bobby has a C, Jill has a J. Now that you can chat with me, now that you can talk, how many of you, if you want to play and have fun, how many of you got a letter and then said, no, that can't be it? Joanna, I am happy to help you with that healing. Definitely a healing for everybody's nervous system. The healing team is going around and helping everybody with their nervous systems. There are lots and lots of nervous systems that are kind of afraid and like, oh my gosh, just let me be done with it. I love that you all fess up and go, yeah, yeah, yeah. I got a letter and then thought it was something different. I did the exact same thing. I saw the L and I was like, oh, come on, really? Like, L is in love. Really? We're going to do that? So I love that you all fess up. Perfect, because that is how it works, right? We often will get the information to come in and then we'll be like, oh, but was that right? Should I have done that? Did I get the right answer? Maybe it should be, well, what if, right? A lot of times there's a lot of beings that are busy chat, 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 chat in our channels. We are going to clear more karma and agreements, reassign more beings, and as well as we're going to go ahead and help you guys with your auric layers. Yeah, I'm going to help with all that. Yeah. Okay. But that's how that is. And how does that relate to our claim of truth tonight? God is in all things. God is in the places where we go into fear. God is in the places where we get angry. God is in the places where we think we're not worthy enough. All of that. God is in all of those places as well. And in fact, what just showed up for me is God is in those places because God never abandons us. Never has, never will. I'm like, wow, that's an interesting statement. God is in all of those things because God has never, ever left us. We're not separate, we're in union. Huh, that's a really good note. God is in the buzzing bees, absolutely. I was outside before the circle started and I must have had like 50 flies. And I was busy going, God is in the flies, God is in the flies, God is in the flies. Oh, for fuck's sake. Just telling you, yes. God is in all things. Not just the things we like, not just the things that we agree with, not with just the pretty things, even if we don't like them. Not just that, God is in all things. All things, all things, all things. All right. So let's see. I just want to make sure I got everybody. Yahoo. Yahoo. Okay. We got everybody. Gentlemen, we're happy to help. Lots of healings on fear, on forgiveness, on injustice, for sure. In fact, here's breaking news. Breaking news is that Noah on Monday night, next Monday night, is going to be live. And the theme of Noah is going to be about forgiveness, about Christ consciousness. So, woohoo! There must be more of that we need to work on, right? Yes. All right. Okay, God sees God in all things. In failure, in pain. How about this one? Political systems. In joy, in success, in love, in hurricanes, in beautiful weather, in pollution, all of that. How about that? Who needs a healing on any of that? God sees God in all things. Yeah, Heather, I love that. Heather, you might want to flip your switch over to everyone so that everybody can read those things. Heather said she was watching a recent interview with Paul, and he and the guides were stressing God sees God, and God just is. Yes, and regarding me piggybacking, yes, on what Paul has said, I actually just asked Kara about that. I was like, oh my God, Kara, this is like the third or fourth time that I have had a healing circle, and the next Noah was the exact same topic. And she said, that's not a surprise at all, because it's what the field is asking for. The field is asking for more help with clearing judgment. And so that's what I get when I start doing the healing circle. That's what she gets when she starts doing Noah. That's what we all start getting, and how we start transforming things. That's why Paul is getting it as well. God sees God. And God just is. There's nothing to that. It's just God is. So, let's see. In this piece in the kingdom, they are talking about, the guides are talking about, where do you see your difficulty, your issues, the things that are going on for you as too big for God? Does anybody have that? That is actually, it is on page 81. So where do you see that your difficulties are too big for God? Now, when I read that, I took just a moment to be like, do I think my difficulties are too big for God? Or do I think that my difficulties are too minor for God? Like, my difficulties are like, well, why would he even worry about what I'm struggling with? Like, why does God care if, my pointer finger is swollen? Why does God care about that? I was like, that's a great thing. So feel free to pop it in the chat if you have an awareness that you either see like that your issue is minor in comparison to all that God has to handle, or if you see that your difficulty is too big for God. I'm going to give you a healing on all that. If you all haven't decided where you are putting your letter that you found, your crystalline letter, or if you're having difficulty with that, please let me know. I'm happy to help you with that. Awesome, Cindy. Joanna Hart. Excellent. Ooh, Jill. I love that you brought that to the table. I don't feel either one of those things, but I feel that God has forgotten about me. Yep. That's an awesome one, Jill. Thank you. Heather, right hip. So, if you feel like God has forgotten about you, we're going to include you in this. It's not that I'm too big. It's not that my issues are too small. Just that God has forgotten about me. God, I love that. Jill, where are you holding those ideas that God has forgotten about you? Where are you holding those? And if you are somebody who has that show up, that God has forgotten about you, feel free to answer that question as well. Jan, your heart. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yep, Jill, I see that sternum for sure. All those places. That God has forgotten about you is really interesting, Jill, because I'm like, does God forget? That seems like a human thing. Forgetting. So, let's look at okay. So Jill, there's a dark creation there. We're going to go ahead and work on that for you. Like nobody remembers I'm here. It's not just God who's forgotten. It's like everybody has forgotten that I'm here. Okay. While I'm working on that, you all have another crystalline letter showing up for you. My letter is an N. Took me a minute. I was like, is it a Z? Is it an N? If you would stop bouncing around, I'd be able to tell the difference. I have an N. Bobby has an M. Ooh, Cindy. I love that. And you all may notice Cindy's bringing it to the party. You may notice what the font looks like. You may have an awareness of the color. You may have an awareness of like it moving. Like as I was looking at my N, it looks like there's like little fireworks going off. So you may have an awareness of that. And it's just fun to see what shows up. Like what I love about the Healing Circle space is that it's just an opportunity to play. There's no right answer, no wrong answer. It's just play. And if you find yourself getting stuck, I'm happy to help you. But I love playing with energy, and so feel free to look. Is it in a script font? Is it like Old English, if you have an awareness of that? You know, is it in a block font? However it shows up. But you can also ask about the colors and see what shows up as far as movement, right? You may have an awareness of the letter, the energy in the letter kind of moving around. How cool is that? God sees God in all things, regardless of what the letter is, regardless of what it looks like, what color it is. It's all sacred. It's all divine. Another way of saying that. Oh, Cindy, you're the one with the ocean waves. I was actually seeing like ocean waves, and I was like, oh, who is that? Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Yeah. Awesome. Isn't it fun to just play? to be in the spirit of play, to just trust however it shows up and just be like, okay, this is what I got, and it doesn't matter how it shows up. Okay. To just be. Yeah, I love that. All right. How is everybody doing with God? You know, God holds no judgment. God holds no fear, no pain, no anger, no unworthiness, none of that stuff. Okay, Elaine. Yo, Jay. Go help Elaine out. Sending people over, Elaine. Got some beings behaving badly and you're turning your channels out. So I'm just going to keep working on that. That's why I work with a team. And then there's those times where I'm like, okay. Fear, fear, fear. Okay. Okay. Now, how many times can I say okay? One more time. Okay. So, we have more conversation here. Now, as God is all things, it can also be seen as an economic structure, as a way of being in the world in success, or if you prefer, failure, because the divine expresses in manifestation in alignment to the degree that you have acknowledged it. And if the soul suggests that there are lessons to learn through challenge, challenge there will be. And as you learn, and as you claim, and as you know yourself beyond the challenge, you are lifted to receive what expresses beyond it. You are always lifted to express beyond whatever your higher self is busy showing you. We can use Elaine. Elaine's higher self is like, it's time to move this. We are doing this now. Awesome that we can see how we can express beyond the fear, beyond the ideas of us turning out our channels, going into fear, that there's always healing. So, we're going to go on a field trip. Elaine, I am seeing a swing with your name on it. Our field trip, we are going through a walk in the forest. I see this beautiful tree, Elaine, for you to sit in the swing that is hanging there. If anybody else feels like they're just having some challenges, feel free to grab a chair, a branch, and just hang out for a few minutes here in the forest. We're on page 81 of the Kingdom. Imagine you have a forest. You seek to drive through the forest. The shade is great. You can't see a clearing. You go the best you can. But when you drive through the forest, you understand that there will come a time when you will leave the forest, find yourself in an open field, see the sun, and recognize where you have come to. So here we are. We're in the forest. We're in the midst of this challenge. We're in the midst of these ideas, believing that God has forgotten us, that God is too important for us to bother about our issues, or perhaps that my issue is far too big for God to handle. I love, Cindy, that you have already started looking around at the forest and you have that awareness that it's lush and green and fresh and new. I love that. When I was looking at it earlier today, it felt like springtime, and I was trying to be very logical and reconcile. It's the middle of the summer. It is not springtime, but that is another way that we can notice what shows up for us, right? That is the atheist energy showing up for me. That's like, oh my God, this has to make sense. It has to be logical. It can't possibly have snow all over the ground, or, have the leaves falling already, or the leaves changing colors. None of that is true. Take a look at your forest. What do you have an awareness of? I see somebody actually has a fire happening in the forest, and we're going to work on that. It's a lot of fear showing up, and I'm really grateful that you showed that. Let's move more of that. Yeah. I have been moving a lot of pictures, frames, movies, all sorts of stuff around torture, and it's been so interesting how many times that has shown up in just my everyday life, where it's just like, oh, something floats past my awareness, where I'm like, oh wow, that looks like somebody is chained to the wall. I'm like, stop, nobody's chained to the wall. Heal more of that. Remember, it's just stuff that we're moving out. So, happy to help with that. Cindy's got a field of wildflowers. That's beautiful. Heather's got secret garden vibes. Super lush and green, weeping willows, and beautiful bird songs. I love that you put the sounds in there as well. You may have an awareness of sounds. I love bird songs. So pretty. I am watching the alchemy and the harmonics and the geometrics are kind of floating through. They're just like they're like birds and bugs and things like that, just floating through. So you all are welcome to pick up the harmonics and the key codes, the alchemy that is available. You can know that you are busy soaking in that. Jan's got a peaceful area with large rocks to sit and enjoy the beautiful trees and animal sounds. That's really cool. Oh my gosh. So beautiful. Now, oh, look, Cindy's taking it up. Silk streamers floating in the sky. There are lots and lots of gifts here. Cindy, feel free to grab one of those streamers. Anybody else who wants a streamer, feel free to just pluck one out of the sky and put it where it's going to most serve you. Put one around my throat. That'd be a beautiful thing. Now you may have an awareness of some of those crystalline letters or crystalline numbers. There are also crystalline eggs around here. So if you have an awareness of a crystalline egg, there are also some crystalline flowers. You may have an awareness of that as well. And you can pick those up and put them where they will most serve. Now, God sees God in all things. So God sees God in our friends, in our family, in our enemies, in the people we love, and the people we are struggling to love. I encourage you to gather some of these gifts and gift them to the people that you are sometimes struggling to love. No judgment in that. That's kind of how it all works when you have karma and agreements with people you do not always get along with, you do not always see eye to eye. It is perfect. God sees God in all things. You look at those people and know that they are worthy of love and joy and wonder, peace, grace, inspiration, illumination, all of those things. Okay. I see a crystalline egg. I feel like I'm playing I Spy a crystalline egg. I see a crystalline egg. It is in the crook of a tree branch. And my first thought is that the tree branch is far too high for me to get to. What's a girl to do? Oh, yes, that's right. I get to create it how I want. So I get to just say, yo, crystalline egg, right here, please. And it just floats down and comes to my hand. You get to create your environment, your life, how you want. You are the powerful creator and manifester of it. You get to decide. Oh, those silk streamers floating in the sky that Cindy sees, they're far too high for me. Oh no, wait, I can just reach up and pull one down and put it right in my third eye. No rules, no rules, no rules. What are you all gathering? Ooh. Cindy says when she released her eggs, silver rings linked together floated by. You can gather those rings, Cindy. They are certainly there for you. Elaine, when you get a moment, just check in. Lots of gifts. Whew. So I see those, I see silver rings, if people want to gather silver rings as well. There's also gold rings, and they're just there in the field. Jan has a crystal box with a gold glitter rainbow. Bow, not rainbow, bow. Box is full of clear crystal gemstones, the gifts. And Jan, I just want to tell you that there, one of the other gifts that I saw in this forest is a music box, and so that's how that shows up. And that's a music box. See, you're already doing things. If you thought you didn't know, you do. Excellent, Lane. I'm glad to hear that it's getting better. Yes. It's a great reminder for all of us that when you start feeling nauseous, the first thing that you can look at is ask about your channels. Have you flipped your channels out and you're starting to scan everything and everyone around you? For me, I also have experienced extreme itchiness. Like I'm just like itching, and it's like, and that is also me turning my channels out. Can also do it if you find yourself going into extreme fear that you've turned your channels out. Awesome. Cindy, I love a blue and purple silk streamer wound through the rings. And then you get to ask where you're going to put that. Ooh, yeah, swing on them. Awesome. Now you can walk through the forest. You can hang out in the forest. You may, if you're going to walk through the forest, somebody is cartwheeling through the forest. You can find yourself coming to a clearing. You do not have to come to the clearing in order to, be finished with this field trip. Yes, Jill, itchiness. Itchiness. It can be beings, it can be a lot of things, but it could also be your channel, so you check. Heather, you found water? Heather must be the one doing cartwheels through the forest. She and my daughter. Woohoo! Cindy's like, I'm now going to fly. Fly through the forest. That's beautiful. No rules whatsoever. You can do however it shows up. I just saw a fish, and the fish just came up to me and was like, okay, come on, we're going to go for a ride. And I'm like, come on, flying fish at the same time that I'm busy talking. And I'm like, yes, flying fish. So I've jumped on a flying fish, and I am flying around on a fish. No rules. I hope you all will let yourselves be a little open to whatever shows up, however that happens. Listen, when I first started doing this, I was like stuck. Oh, a fish? It can't be a fish. It must be a bird, or I must have an airplane or something, and I wanted it to make sense. And the more I do it, the more I'm like, oh, it's just perfect, however it shows up. And I just keep trusting what shows up. So big healings for all of us. How are you all doing? Oh, playing in the waterfall. If you haven't looked in a while, you have a crystalline number that is showing up for you. I have an L, an N, and a 2. I didn't want 2, I wanted 3. But apparently, my 2 is going to go in my sternum, and it's going to help me with the fear that keeps showing up. Have you all gifted? An upside down 7. Yes. Electric blue 17 in your throat. That's a beautiful thing. And Cindy, that's a great reminder that it does not have to look like what you think it might look like, right? You do not have to make it look a certain way. Bobby has a 2 going into her third eye. Bobby, I was seeing you like sitting there going, but I want to let her a number. I want to let her a number. I want to let her a number. So I love that you had a 2. And Jan, you got a 9. 9 endings. That's an awesome thing. 9. Jan, you might ask your higher self what it is that is the ending that your higher self is so insistent on. The 9, the 9, the 9. 9s are also a lot about freedom. So that's a beautiful thing too. And not all the numbers are like, oh, it's this and not this, that and not that. It can be whatever your higher self is giving you as the information. That is true with everything. When you are out in the world and you keep seeing the same number over and over again, there will be people who will tell you, oh, it means this and it means that. You get to choose what it means for you. Your higher self has the message for you about what it means. I can tell you that 3s are joy, but if you saw 5 3s somewhere, it might not mean joy. It might mean something completely different. You get to check with you. Oh my God, so much fun. I keep hearing all this music. Not always the thing that you will find me doing, but I'm like, oh my gosh. So I am seeing some instruments is kind of a inaccurate word. Within the trees, there's a lot of music available, a lot of harmonics, and there's kind of like instruments, but not that are there. Someday I might have a word for that. But you can certainly pick up the harmonics. You may have an awareness of them as Heather. I see harps floating by. Yep, you may see them in boxes or in orbs or things like that. You can pick those up as well. Whoever it is that's seeing guitars, grab one, put it in your throat. And there are some of you that are busy going, I'm seeing flutes and I'm seeing drums. I see a drumstick. Feel free to pick those up as well, because oh my goodness, why wouldn't you? Chocolate drops like M&Ms. Now that's something that's totally yummy. God sees God in all things. Not God sees God in some things, but God sees God in all things. So, for the fun of it, where are you holding the most judgment about yourself? Where are you holding the most judgment about yourself? Zoya, hey girl, throat, yep. Jill, third eye, I'm with you, third eye. Oh my God, it hurts when I touch it. Third eye. We're going to give that spot a really big healing, because heaven forbid we continue to see ourselves in a lot of judgment. Heather, your jaw, I see a lot in your in the right side of your jaw. Not that there isn't stuff in your left, but I see a lot right there. Jan, your chest, for sure. Left sternum. Yep. You know, I have this spot here in my shoulder, and I keep going, it's my pillow, it's because I worked out, it's because I didn't work out, it's because I didn't drink enough water, I didn't eat well, it was that piece of cake I had. I mean, literally all sorts of nonsense. It is not any of those things. It is a lot of hoocha moving out. But then I started feeling it here in my chest, and I was like, oh my gosh, when I touch right here, I can feel there, and I can also feel up in the top of my head, and I'm like, oh my gosh, clear that. Heal those things that have us going, or is it just me? Maybe it's just me. Cindy, right rib cage. Yep. We have a lot of movies playing, a lot of pictures, frames, things that tell us that we're separate, that we're not enough, that there's a lot of fear out there, that we have to be afraid. Here's what showed up for me today. Today I had I kept seeing valences, and valences are like valences are covers or masks, things that hide other things. And I kept asking, what in the world are those valences that I keep seeing? And it's the valences that I see that keep me separate from source. Like, wow, that's a good one. Jan, left ankle, right palm. Awesome. I'm going to move more of that for all of us. So there is another gift available. We're actually going to use it in this place where we are holding a lot of judgment of ourselves. You may see a bell, you may see a chime, you may see a music box, you might see something else, a bell, a chime, a music box. Each of these was created specifically for you. However you see it, you'll know. It's like it has your name on it. Whew. Mine is a chime, and it's it does not sound like what it looks like. It looks like those shell chimes, you know, that people make with the seashells, and the ones and the noise that they make, the sound that they make is different than what I am hearing. What I am hearing is like the sound that bells make, or I have the steel chimes in my backyard, and so that's what I'm hearing. And when I ask about that, like, okay, so what is that? It's all those places where I have ideas how things are, how things behave. So I have a lot of ideas about, for example, those chimes. Those shell chimes are very pretty. They're very beachy, but I'm like, they don't sound very pretty. I mean, they just sound like a bunch of shells clattering together. And so my higher self is like, yeah, that's what we want to heal. Those places where you go into judgment about what somebody says or thinks or does, or how something behaves, and it's not exactly what I think it should be. How about that one? Cindy says, wind chime that looks like church organ pipes. How awesome is that? So those chimes are going into my third eye, but I am asking for another gift, just like it, for my throat. Are you allowed to do that? Yes. Of course. You are always allowed to ask for more, more, more. In fact, I encourage it. Okay, how y'all doing? What do you need? Jill is saying she often feels a tingling sensation in her gums, like her gums are actually moving. What is this? I'm going through the list. So, Jill, what you're experiencing is more awareness in your gums, and the frequencies that are running through your gums, cleaning your the low frequencies that are in your gums. If you also start to notice that you feel that in other places as well, but you have the most awareness in your gums right now, and it's transformation in process. So you're having more sensation and awareness about it, and it's a really good thing. And I understand that there are times when I feel like my skin is like moving, and I would swear that there's like something crawling on it, and I look and I look and I look, I'm like, there's nothing there. But it is having more sensation and more awareness with what is going on in your body. It's an excellent thing. Thanks for bringing that up. Okay. Jan, that in your right knee is a combination of beings moving out. It is also an awareness of what is going on for you. So that's an awesome awareness. It's like really fun to be like, yes, I know, I'm aware of that. That's so freaking cool. Remember, your higher self is on all of that. When you suddenly start noticing things moving, it's like when you go, oh my gosh, I have so much atheist energy. I'm so aware of it. It's like, it's because your higher self is busy moving it out. That's an awesome thing. You are aware of it because your higher self is showing it to you. Okay, did everybody get their crystalline bell chime music box? Everybody have that awareness? You can certainly stay in the forest. You can also travel out of the forest and go into the field, and have that awareness that all of this is available to you. It's all available to you all of the time. Brainstem, good choice, Heather. Higher self is like, yes. Find yourself in an open field, see the sun, and recognize where you have come to. In some ways, this is a teaching, although you've been driving in the forest for so very long that you perceive that this to be the only reality that you can express in. It's not the only reality you can express in. You can keep expressing in higher and higher frequencies. That's what you all are doing. That's all the stuff that you're busy talking to me about. Oh my God, look at this awareness I have. What in the world is this that I'm feeling? How is this showing up? You all know this. You're doing such an awesome job. Cindy, it is a beautiful sunset. Totally beautiful. In reality, here in the healing circle, okay. How's everybody doing? Okay. I want to tell you that we're giving everybody a healing, and this is how it shows up for me, that it is about adjusting everybody's settings on their screens to be able to tune into more bright colors, more joy, more beauty, and trusting how things show up. Now, I'm not talking about a TV. That's just how it was showing up to me. So we are gifting you all with more awareness of the love, the beauty, the amazing beings that you all are in truth. Giving you more joy, helping you trust yourself more, being able to see in like more vivid colors, more love, more joy, more inspiration. Yeah, it's really cool. I'm like, yes. Okay. How's everybody doing? Anybody need any more assistance? You can always text me. Happy to help. I'm so glad to see so many of you that I haven't seen in a while. We are going to be back here on the 22nd. Pretty sure it's the 22nd. Is that right? 8 and 14, 22, yep. We'll be back here on the 22nd for another Claims of Truth Healing Circle. I will definitely be sending you all some more information about it. Come when you can, bring friends. Great healing opportunity. Okay. We're good? Yes, we're good. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Awesome. As I seal the field unto the light of the one true source creator God, who is responsible for all the magic, all the love. God sees God in all things. I thank my healing team. I thank the Privy Council. I thank Source for everything, knowing that that's where all the love, all the magic, all the joy comes from. And I most definitely thank each and every one of you who show up in an amazing, beautiful, stellar way, trusting your higher self and knowing who you are in truth. I hope you have a fabulous week. If there's anything you need whatsoever, feel free to text me, send me a message on Facebook, send me an email, send me two if you need to. And remember that you are the love, you are the joy, you are the magic. With that, I say amen and aho. Love you guys. See you in 2 weeks. Hope you have a fabulous evening.